Following a year off of the F1 calendar, the circuit Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez returns to play host once again to this year's Mexican Grand Prix. The circuit being 2,000 metres above sea level means that the air is a lot thinner due to the altitude, which can allow for impressive straight line speed down the start-finish straight. However, the thinner air will also put a lot of stress on the power units and the drivers themselves. However, Alfa Romeo are looking to use the thinner air to their advantage with the impressive straight line speed that their car puts out in normal conditions, looking to boost the advantage here. And it's much the same at Toyota. The Japanese outfit, defending Constructors champions, still yet unable to work out the electrical issues that have been plaguing both of their cars, so hoping that knocking off a little bit of wind could give them a boost in straight line speed that they need. However, Williams were expecting to struggle this weekend, as aero has never been their strong point ever since this current gen of car was introduced, and neither Latifi or Hulkenberg seemed at all confident about their chances of getting anywhere near the points on race day. Hey guys, Renault here! Welcome back to F1's 2021 career, here for the Mexican Grand Prix today. Take a look at our starting grid. You've got Pierre Gasly in P14. The AlphaTauri is also pretty nippy in a straight line, but I'm guessing they're still lacking a little bit there on the aero side. As we come now then, onto the formation lap for the start here of round 3. See that all the cars are starting to pull away. Looks like we're not going to have any issues there with anyone stalling on the grid, because most of these cars can actually start themselves if they have an issue. However, the AMG powered cars don't have an issue with that, so it's crucial that they manage to get away. But there you can see Fernando Alonso on pole position, so once again he's come strong here before in previous seasons, so it's like this circuit may be a favourite here of the Spaniard. And you also got the McLarens here starting pretty far up the order as well. And here then at Lando Norris, and all the top 10 will be on the soft tyres. I'll have to do with 2-stop. There'll be a few teams further down the road starting on the hard tyres, and they could potentially go for a 1-stop, but their tyres will be dead towards the end of the race. And talking of dead cars, the Toyotas, they're always a question mark if they're going to make it to the end. They've already got issues in normal conditions, so it makes the air a lot thinner. They could be in for a world of hurt in this race if they can't get on top of whatever the problem is with their cars. And here's the home crowd favourite, Sergio Perez. I'm not sure they're going to really care. He's down in like 16th or 17th place. I mean, sure, they're preferring to be near the points, but they've got a home favourite to cheer for now as he comes around to line up on the grid for start of the Mexican Grand Prix. And here we are then starting in P6. Not the best qualifying in the world at being beat by our teammate Kevin Magnussen, but we're usually better in race trim than we've been in qualifying. That is usually the trend of how our career's gone so far. We are starting around though Hamilton, Albon and Norris, so being round 3, the championship fight is still very, very open at this early stage. And now as we come to the 5 red lights for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Looks like a premium start there from the front row. Verstappen and Alonso side by side. We get a good start though from P6 in the grid. Going to get boxing over, checking 3 away. Yes, we do. Managed to clear the McLaren. Going side by side then with our teammate K-Mac down on the run down. This time we're going to be an absolute slipstream fest here down into the first corner. Alonso goes aggressively there to move the inside line. We're trying to force around with Verstappen. I'm going to keep it side by side. You've got a bit of move there in front. You've got Ocon and one of the McLarens now going side by side through turn 2. And technically Ocon will try to make a move on the inside line of a fellow Renault power car, but the McLarens remember have the Renault engine from last year badged as Vipes for this year. They're still keeping it side by side down into the middle section of the lap now, into the next left-handed chicane, and then into the right. Ocon with the inside line. The McLaren's still going to try and keep it there around the outside. And so now through the outer stadium sector, really, this bit kind of looks like. But McLaren with the racing line, has he got the traction to try and pull through on the Renault? Ocon still going to try and hold it around the outside line, but he just has to fall in their position. Does he know? He still keeps his nose in. Ocon keeping his side by side still. Great racing here from Esteban Ocon, still keeping it there on the inside line of the McLaren. Going force away a little bit cut out, made the hand of anger goes up there from the Frenchman. And you've got the toes looking, getting boxy there, right behind. I'm going to try and make a move to the inside line. Lando Norris going to get 3 wide now. Coming into the stadium center, he helps over the carry. You can see the slide. He's hit us. He's hit us. He's not over a bit of off for a wing. Lando Norris, they're making a huge mistake in that McLaren car, the winner of the last race at USA, made a massive mistake. They're 3 wide into a corner where you can barely get 2 wide, loses it on the curb, and knocks off from me. Now Alex Albon then makes a move there up the inside line. We've got about as much downforce as the HRT had in 2012, and we have to pit, having to box at the end of lap 1. Our race now coming under, it's actually ruined already. On the end of lap 1, we're having to make a move now into the pit lane for a new front wing. And now we're the only one to pay as well. Our race has been absolutely ruined now at this early stage. The end of the first lap, we're going to be 20 plus seconds behind the car in 19th place with this front wing change. The team, of course, have to take the time with it, make sure the new front wing is secured securely. No, that is what secured means. But yeah, we're so far behind the car in front now. The car in front of us now is Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. He's already in the second sector of the lap pretty much, and we just exited the pit lane. Yeah, so we're about 20 seconds now behind the car in front. And you've got Fernando Alonso pulling away already out in front. Alonso looking dominant, and we're only on the second lap of the race. And I'm about, I'd say about half a lap down on Fernando Alonso. And this championship fight looks like it's going between me and Alonso at this early stage. Alonso's going to get 20 points on us plus. He could get fastest lap yet, so Alonso could still get 21 points clear on us in this race yet. Now, moving a bit further, looking at the action with everyone else, because there's not going to be a lot happening in my world now for a while. Full on board here then with the Red Bull of Alex Albon. He's a bit far down on his team. He had a good race last time at USA beating Verstappen, so we know there is pace from the tyre driver and the RB17. Now we've got Hamilton looking to go the long way now, run the outside line, going to go late on the brakes. Albon can try and dive it back up the inside line. These two cars complete polar opposites. The Red Bull good with the aero, and this track should actually suit them a little bit with the Thunder Air. You'd think would play to the strengths that it has done in the past. Verstappen proving it, being up there in second place, and Red Bull looking to get some form now. And then we've got a little bit of a move there coming on with the AlphaTauri, looking to make a move there on the Red Bull. So the AlphaTauri's coming good in race trim. You know, the cars with a little bit less aero than the Red Bull trim out the wing, and they are pretty quick in terms of straight line speed. And now the AlphaTauri going to make it move there to the inside line and try and keep it there on the inside line. TDK Kamara, who we know Helmut Marko is very fond of, and he keeps making moves on Alex Albon like that. He manages to keep being up there and beating the Red Bulls, may even be in the Red Bull team for next year. And then we've got one of the Aston Martin with a massive gain on the first few laps. What's this Aston Martin doing so far up the order? You know, the Astons, they had a modest season last year, using what would have been the Haas chassis, which would have been a pretty decent car, although they did unfortunately still finish last in the constructors, but they're still there, well within the midfield fight. We've got Sergio Perez, the home favourite, I'm sure being powered on by the home crowd, and after missing last year as well. Moving a bit further on, looking a bit further down the order here, looking at the Williams of Nicholas Latifi, who's coming under fire now from the Ferraris. Got Charles Leclerc to make a move on the inside line here into the braking zone. He doesn't even need to get into the braking zone. That Ferrari power looking good there in terms of top end speed at least anyway. As he brings it through the chicane, he's made an easy move there on the Canadian. He struggled a little bit in the first few races. He's been pretty close to Hulkenberg, but just how the races have panned out. The mid-pack is so close, you do lose a lot of time in the field spread that occurs very, very quickly in these races. And now you've got Latifi there in the front. Angelo Leclerc runs out wide, and it's a little bit of a mistake. He gets a bit off circuit. And then he manages to pull himself back on. Has he got an issue there with the Ferraris running out very wide? He's pulling off the circuit. He's wide once again. So has he got some sort of puncture, whatever it is? It looks like to be his terminal now. Charles Leclerc pulls out of the race at this very early stage. Maybe he just ran a little bit too hard there on that Ferrari engine. We know this track is going to be strenuous with the low altitude and the thinner air. And now further on, got our teammate Kevin Magnussen now coming in now for what is actually a scheduled pit stop. This is the time where everyone of the leaders will be coming in for their stops. And it is going to be a two-stop race here for the leaders. That's a really nice camera angle there from the Alpha pit crew. As you get all of the lead drivers coming in for their first stop of the race. Didn't quite see what tyres there K-Mag's gone on to. Like another set of the soft tyres, so it's going to be soft to start and then going from the soft instead of mediums or the hards later on. As he's going to come out with 3 wide button there with McLaren and Lando Norris, and one of the Williams are going to get squeezed out. Norris there just managed to make the move through, and thankfully for us doesn't make contact with the other Alfa Romeo running in this race, as K-Mag is going to be flying the flag for Alfa Romeo today, because it's very unlikely I'm going to get anywhere near back to the points, because I'm still stuck on this two-stop strategy. Even with going on to a set of mediums, they're not going to do the entire race and set our hards ones either, so I thought we'll just go on the fastest tyres that we can and try and do what we can later on, because we still use 2 sets of tyres, so we could go on another set of mediums later on. Just have to see how it works out for us down in Orwell, down in now 19th place, made of a place with Leclerc being out. And then on to lap 12, we've caught up to everyone else, but at the complete wrong time. We're up here with Matsushita, Seti Kamara, Alex Albon as Mick Schumacher puts up the first lap of the Grand Prix, so the McLaren driver going well in these conditions, so the Renault engine Velocity still got quite some grunt in it as well, as we have to box now for our first scheduled pit stop, and we are running really out of sync here with everyone else. Still got over half the race left to go at this point. Let's see what size Alfa Romeo puts onto. They could put us onto a set of hards and go to the end of the race, but no, we're going to another set of mediums, so we're going to be making another stop later on towards the end of the race, I'd imagine. So we're doing an effective 3 stop in this race, just doing a 1 lap stint on the set of the soft tyres, which is what, it's got like 2013 vibes. I think it was at India when Vettel stopped on lap 2 of the race to get rid of the soft tyres, so yeah. But unlike Sebastian Vettel in India in 2013, we haven't got the outright dominant car this year at the moment. But now we've got the two Williams further up the road. This is how much time we've lost once again. And we've got the two Williams battling in second and third from last places. We've come out, it's probably going to say about 20 seconds or so, maybe behind, maybe about 10 seconds now, because we have had 10 laps again on them, but still, we're so far behind, still in a legitimate last place, and we're so far behind Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen. It would be pretty much deja vu to the start of the race. We got Alonso pulling away Verstappen in a clear P2 in that Red Bull. And we've got Mick Schumacher, the fastest driver on the track at the moment, in P3 in that McLaren. Of course, McLaren still having to gain their points at the start of this year. And like it was earlier on, he still came over here flying the flag for Alfa Romeo. He's put a little bit of a gap twist on Ocon, but Ocon's going to have that DRS on the back of the RS37 wide open coming into the braking zone. But K-Mag's got enough of a gap, got enough straight on speed. It looks with that Ferrari engine in the back of the AR21 to pull away a little bit. Then we have the hero to zero man himself, Lando Norris, won last time out, and then made a complete balls up of lap 1 in this race. But as it is, he gets away without damage. He's ahead there of the lead of the Toyotas of Nobuharu Matsushita. And you have Alex Albon somewhere behind his teammates, but he's still crucially back ahead of the AlphaTauri's Sergio Sette Camara. He's still towards the back end of the points. He's not where Alex Albon wanted to be in this race. And then we have the lead of the Aston Martins here. Let's say medium size, so we've got Longshore there, the lead of the Aston, so somehow he's managed to get ahead of his teammate. Not quite sure how or where that's happened. I don't know if it's actually pitted yet, maybe not. No, he's ahead of both their Mercedes, and it's Russell ahead of Danny Kvyat at this early stage of the race, coming down in probably towards the mid part of the race. And then we have the other AlphaTauri there, Pierre Gasly. He's not been showing too well in this race. He qualified a little bit down the order. The AlphaTauri is struggling in the thinner air, but Sergio Sette Camara is still up there battling it out with one of the Red Bulls. And then we have the home favourite here in the other Aston Martin, Sergio Perez. He's coming under threat though from the sole remaining Ferrari of Ria Haryanto. Ferrari haven't really managed to find any answers yet for this car. As to why it's so far down the order, we've seen from pre-season testing, it's decent through the corners, so aero isn't really the issue, and the engine's not the issue. So I guess in the chassis is the main issue with the car, that's not allowing it to put the power down and carry the speed through the corners. And then we've got Lewis Hamilton, so far down the order, he's back here with the two Williams. Has he had to make an unscheduled pit stop? I'm not too sure. But why is the 2008 World Champion all the way back down here with the two Williams cars down here near the back? He's down here with us. You can just see us. You just got a glimpse of us there in the back of the shot. So, what's going on here with the 2008 World Champion and the man who could be a four-time World Champion? If things just went his way a little bit more. But yeah, we're gaining on the back of the Williams cars and the Toyota team. So the electrical issues once again plaguing the Toyota team. It seems to be hitting Hamilton harder once again than Matsushita. But on to lap 19, so we're at the halfway stage now of this Grand Prix. We just passed it a lap ago, and now we're all over the back here of Nicholas Latifi. We've got Longshore behind us now on a set of hard sides, so Aston Martin, they're trying the one stop, it seems, with their drivers. Well, at least with Longshore. I don't know what Sergio Perez is doing yet. He's still up the road yet. Probably too yet to make his stop. As all over the back here, Latifi got so much more speed here than the Williams. We're going to pull to the inside line of the Williams car. Keep his side there into the brakes and trying to make a move there. Stick the inside line. We do move it out a little bit wide though. That allows Latifi there to make a move back at the inside line and try and force a way through the Canadian on the inside line. They make the move still there. We managed to pull ahead there. Crucially ahead of the Canadian. And now can we try and stay outside? It's now on Lewis Hamilton in that Toyota. But before we can think about getting way close to making a move on Hamilton, we've still got a fend off Latifi. He's got the DRS down the straight, is he? Or we got it still? I think we've both actually got DRS. We're just close enough to Hamilton, so that might have actually saved me here down this start-finish straight. And then run down the interface, got Hamilton getting right up the rear wing there of Nico Hulkenberg, but still hasn't quite got the straight line speed to make the move. So whatever issues Hamilton is having, I think he's still experiencing there for the 2008 World Champion. Our championship rival from last year, led the championship I think all the way until the end of the final race, but we led the one that matters. Now into the middle sector now, we're out a little bit wide. These tyres starting to go off a little bit because we are having to push them like mad. We've only been on there for about 8 laps though. We're having to push them to the absolute maximum though. We're trying to push it now to maybe even go to another set of softs towards the end of the race, but I don't know if we've actually got another set of soft tyres left. We might have to go into a set of hards to end this race, as we're going to try and fly here now through this middle sector. This part of the lap, I've been pretty strong through here. If I can get the rhythm, but it's not consistent through there for me, if that makes sense. If I get a good run, it's good. If it's bad, then it's really bad through there. We're catching up though to this mid pack of cars. We've got Hulkenberg there up in front of Hamilton. Then we've got 14th place. We've got the other Aston Martin and Sergio Perez. Then we've got P13 the Ferrari. So this isn't even the fight for points. I've got to clear all these cars, and then I've still got to find someone else. So we lose it massively there through the rear. We've got yellow flags up in front though. Don't know what's happened there. I think all these cars in this queue are still going. You got a car there in the pit lane. You got Alex Albon. It's like making a pit stop there for Red Bull. You're going to a set of soft tyres. You're going to take them a long way, 15 laps. And then we've got Pierre Gasly there out of the session now, as the VSC is now deployed. And Hamilton has to back out that move on the back of the Williams. I think he could have made that stick actually, but unfortunate timing there for the fellow Brit. Now then, as the VSC was deployed, this is on the end of that lap. We've got our teammate Kevin Medley coming in, because the VSC was still actually deployed at this point. You remember, they're so far ahead around the lap of how much time we've been losing in this race, but they managed to pit under the end of the VSC. They're going to make a gain now. It's K-Mag and Esteban Ocon, but the cars up in front, I think they all managed to time that right as well. I think there was someone there up in front, but didn't quite see what car it was though. And K-Mag will come back on track. Still got the local yellows, which now then turns to green flags. So they managed to make that pit stop under VSC and managed to get away with it completely there. And K-Mag crucially has pulled a bit more of a gap there on Esteban Ocon. We've not really seen too much of him this race. Well, we've seen more of him than we have of me, because it's took me 20 laps of the race to actually catch up to anyone else. As now then, on to lap 26 now of the Grand Prix. We're currently up now into P10. We've still got another stop yet to make, but we're crucially running in the points places. And once again, we're running here with another Aston Martin car. We're running now with the Aston Martin Sergio Perez. He's on a set of hard tyres, so Perez is going to the end of the Grand Prix. You know, we've got the nickname the tyre whisperer. He can make any set of tyres last, no matter what car he's in, and no matter what tyres he's on. They always go about 10 laps longer than what they're actually meant to. So I've got no doubt that Perez can make the tyres last, but is doing one less pit stop going to counteract the lack of pace in generally for the Aston Martin cars. We're a little bit wider into the pit lane, just managed to get slowed down there for the marker. And now we've got Alex Albon in behind us once again. So Albon has got a puncture. He's still going to a set of soft tyres, so I guess he's going to try and stretch it out to the end of the race. He's had to come back in again, so I think maybe been a problem there for him. It's going to be another front wing change for ourselves. So the team must have seen something with our front wing that they weren't happy with. And now it's going to let Alex Albon get out there in front of us. We actually come out in front of him still just about, so that's a really good front wing change. Because Albon wasn't actually that far behind, so Albon had a front wing change as well. I mean, to lose 7 seconds, he's either had a nightmare pit stop, or he himself had to have a front wing change. So we didn't make contact with him. So he maybe just had some sort of issue. Remember back last race, K-Mac had a front wing failure. He had to have his front wing change at his pit stop. So maybe that was going to happen again. Is there something wrong with the structural integrity of these front wings that Alfa Romeo is supplying us at the moment? I mean, there's definitely something wrong with the one we took off our car, because Lando Norris moved that one for us. And then we've got the other Aston Martin there of Lars Stroll looking for us now. Is Stroll going to pull up a massive defensive drive? He's also on a set of hard tyres by the looks of it. Going to try and go for a switch. Well, I mean, lose the rear massively. We almost spin ourselves out. We're going to allow Alex Albon now to get very interesting out of the back of us. We've got Albon there on another set of soft tyres as well. So I think Albon was trying to go to the end of the race on that set of soft tyres. He's also had to pit for a new front wing. So I don't know what's going on here. The front wing seems to be very fragile. It might have to be something that the FIA looks into. The fragility of the structural integrity of these front wings. Now getting on the back of Lars Stroll, could try and go for a dive into the stadium centre. Not quite a bit of a lock on there from Lars Stroll. So the Canadian there feeling the issue. I mean, this is only the fight for 16th place, but he knows his teammate Sergio Perez is further up the road and running inside the points places. And I'm sure they're going to know that we're behind him and Albon's behind us. So you've got 2 cars, we should already be in the points behind him. He's going to have to do a massive defensive drive. Do what Alonso did to Hamilton in the real life Hungarian Grand Prix of this year. And pull up a massive defensive drive, but we've got the DRS, so I'm not really sure what he can do. But he has got some good speed though in the Aston Martin car, natural straight line speed from the AMG engine. And that's why we're going to go 3 wide though into the brakes there. We're on the inside line here. And we managed to go across a bit of contact there with Lars Stroll. We misses the braking point a little bit. And now we managed to make the move stick there on Lars Stroll. We managed to make the move stick. We pulled through. And now we got Alex Albon to try and go around the outside line, put the power down. And the Canadian, I mean, fair play to Stroll. We kind of boxed him in. There wasn't really anything more that the Canadian could do. We were on the inside. Albon's on the outside. We were in better cars than the Aston Martin. We were on newer, grippier tyres as well than the Aston Martin, so yeah, just plant it in the middle and try and do what you can. Really is the only thing there that Stroll could do. And you've got the Williams there as the next car up the road. The Williams there of Nicholas Latifi. And now we're on to lap 28. We've actually gone purple through the middle sector. So could we be on for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix maybe? We've dropped Alex Albon a little bit. He's now a second behind us, but he's still right there with us. We're not pulling away too much from the tyre driver. That Red Bull car is a good car around the circuit. So like the Red Bulls finally starting to come good now this season. And it's not even the fastest lap of the race, so we've not really had too much good pace. We've gone purple there, but we're on soft tyres. I mean, towards the end of the race, we still got to manage a fastest lap. But now then with the DRS, we're going to go to the inside line, because make him very late, and go to the grass. We had the momentum carries us that far wide to the inside line. We made a new stick there, though, on Nicholas Latifi. He made a move on the other Canadian in this Grand Prix. but that's only us up into 15th place. We've got 3 more places yet to try and make up to get even 1 point from this race. And with how the championship fight's going to look between me and Alonso so far, although Verstappen he could try and get himself into it now, maybe even the McLarens as well are looking very up there early on. Every point could matter. If we get a point from this race, that could be make or break as the season goes on. And the fastest lap point, which we can't get, is we have to get the fastest lap point goes to whoever's inside the top 10. So even if we get the fastest lap now, we're not going to get the point for it, but we could take it away from Alonso though, because if you're not inside the top 10 this year, the point doesn't get redistributed. However, in a wildcard race, which this one isn't, any driver can get it. So in a normal points race, it's all about getting in the top 10 if you want that point. As Alex Albon now also clears the Williams of Latifi, but he's lost another 2 seconds this lap, so that just shows the pace difference between the Red Bull, the Alfa Romeo and the Williams cars towards the back of the grid. But now then, there is that fastest lap, all-important fastest lap now. We're getting on the back of Lewis Hamilton on the set of hard sides. Hamilton's had an absolute mare of a Grand Prix. He hasn't really got any better for the break. I'm going to pull to the side line of Lewis Hamilton as well. We just blast past him like he wasn't really even there. The Toyota car, though, he's still there to the brakes. They have to give him space. They have to give him a bit of space there. They have to take a really tight line there to the inside line through the second part there of that chicane. We're up now into P14. We're ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton's issues really aren't just getting any better, are they? Because that car, even being on, say, a hard tyres, it's quicker than the Ferrari, it's quicker than the Williams, it's quicker than the Aston Martins. But whatever issues are still plaguing that car, they seem to be affecting Hamilton this season more than Massachusetts. So maybe Massachusetts found a way to drive around him more, or maybe just be whatever the issues are, just happen to be hitting one car harder than the other. And we're getting here through the exit section, getting massively there on the back of the Ferrari, getting on the works Ferrari, and we have the same energy, so straight line speed is not going to be a difference. We're now getting on the back of Harrington. We've had history in the past, and go for a dive to side of Harrington, going to give him a bit of a squeeze, force him out wide. Remember back to the I think it was the Italian Grand Prix in 2018. We were lapping Harrington, we were in the Williams, he was in the McLaren, and he just yeeted us off the circuit through Ascari. So ever since then, he's been our nemesis here in Formula 1. Now looking back up towards the front, looking up to the other Alfa Romeo of Kevin Magnussen, who's still got Esteban Ocon behind him. Ocon's actually been getting a little bit here on his final stint, so maybe on low fuel, Ocon's starting to get into grips a bit more with that car. He has been shown up a little bit by Alonso so far this year, but Ocon there with a move there of the inside line to make his stick under braking. He makes the stick, but K-Mag's going to try and keep his nose around that line. You know, K-Mag is such an feisty, aggressive driver, and that's why he won the Belgian Grand Prix of last year. We said he's got such good speed in that car, and he's going to try and put it through now with the DRS, but no, he's Ocon there with the DRS. But I don't know if it's a double DRS or not around the circuit. I'm not quite sure about that. Either way though, Ocon unfortunately makes a move there, so Renault are going to be gaining even more points on Alfa Romeo in this race, because Alfa came into this race, I think, still leading the constructors. Actually no, it was McLaren that came into this race leading the constructors, so McLaren, the lead could change again, put it that way. We could have the third different championship leader in 3 races in the constructors. But now then, on to lap 33. The car top to the back now of Nico Hulkenberg. And Hulkenberg, he wasn't facing his chances of getting points this weekend. And we could make him finish in 13th place for the 3rd race in a row. But we've got to yet clear the German driver, the former Romanian driver of last year, the one-time race winner back in 2014 in Force India. And now we're going to make a move on the Williams car. Our forward team going to make a move on the inside line into the braking zone and give him a little bit of a squeeze there through into the stadium centre. He might have missed it there. I'm not going to try and find us back. He hasn't got the car to do it. Hasn't got the tyres to do it either. We're already pulling away after 2 corners. We've pulled about maybe even half a second on him there. So it just shows the difference in tyres and in overall car as well. But Hulk though, he's going to have the DRS, and I'm sure he's going to try and turn it up to 11. We know Hulk. He's got a never say die attitude. We've denied him race wins back in Monaco last year. I think that may have been what saved his Renault seat. Unfortunately, though, he ended up here back at Williams, but he's gone full circle, ended up back where he started his F1 career back in 2010. But now then, on to lap 35. We've still got the fastest lap. We've pulled 4.5 seconds on Hulk behind. We've got Sergio Perez in the Aston Martin. He's currently inside the points places there in P11. We've got 1 lap to go. We've been gaining hand over fist on him. We're gaining about maybe 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap. But this is how far behind we are. Fernando Alonso is rounding the final corners. He's also on a set of hard tyres, so he's gone for the 1 stop as well. It's worked out for the Spaniard. Alonso wins the Mexican Grand Prix. He dominates it, led every single lap of the Grand Prix. But we've denied him fastest lap though. We've taken away 1 point. We've done a little bit of damage to rotation. We've done all we can really. We've got ourselves back into the points places, but it's not over yet. We've actually got to get around the final lap. We've got to finish the race yet to secure this point, because we weren't lapped. We've still got to do the final lap here of the Grand Prix. But I don't think it would have been too long really until Alonso even put that. Now we've really just not had the pace in this Grand Prix. It took us 36 laps to get past all the midfield cars, so we've gained if you gain 20 seconds on them, just take about, I don't know, about 20 seconds off the end of my race time, and that's honestly that's probably where we would have been. But we also have that 2 front-wing changes in this Grand Prix, which really haven't helped us either. And we have a lock up there though from Sergio Perez. We've caught up to the back of the Aston Martin. Can we go for a dive? Let me go think about it. We're trying to force him into another stake as the cafe is already going off. I'm sure it's going to be giving Perez a little bit of motivation as well, seeing the colours of his home nation through the stadium centre, cutting up the line, and he gets better traction out the final corner. Our tyres are done. We cross the line. It's P12. It's a crucial point though. We don't get the fastest lap point, but crucially for ourselves, neither does Fernando Alonso. He doesn't get the point for fastest lap either. And driver of the day goes to Esteban Ocon. He's had, I was probably have to say Alonso, but Esteban Ocon, he got the vote for driver of the day. And Cyril Abiteboul there seems very happy once again with his decision to promote Alonso back, bringing him back into Formula 1 and back into seeming proving to be a dominant outfit of the Renault team for this year. They've been building on last year, going for a new front nose concept, and they've really managed to make it work. The team very happy there with that end result, and why wouldn't they be? 2 wins out of 3. That's not bad. And you've got Rio Haranto P16 once again. Disappointing result there for Ferrari, the sole remaining Ferrari man in this Grand Prix. Now then, onto the podium there. Alonso standing there on the top step. It's a Renault 1-3 with Verstappen there in the middle. So Renault taking almost maximum points from this Grand Prix. Alonso there looking very happy with his trophy. Now time for the champagne. As Verstappen just pours all his down the back there of Fernando Alonso. So it's a good job you get way before, because Alonso might be getting a few extra pounds away there with all the champagne that's now running down his pants. Taking a look at the end results, and here's Fernando Alonso, who wins the race by 3 seconds in the end from Verstappen, who actually gets the fastest lap point, so maybe it does get redistributed back. So I have to read up on the rules a bit more then, because I thought he wouldn't have got it. Either way, Alonso didn't get the point, and that's what matters in the end. And it's Ocon who rounds off the podium, with K-Mag finishing in P4, so still a good result there for the Danish driver. Then we've got the 2 McLarens of Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris in P5 and P6. Matsushita lead Toyota finishing in 7th place, 42 seconds off the lead, so still a lot of work to do for the Japanese outfit. Then we have Sergio Sette finishing in P8, so another good result for the Brazilian. Then the 2 Mercedes who have a good result, finishing in 9th and 10th for Kvyat and Russell. Sergio Perez with a really good result in front of the home crowd, gets 2 very valuable points for Aston Martin. And ourselves over a minute off the lead, but we crucially get 1 point, which could be critical towards the end of the year. And now moving on to the drivers' point standings. Alonso keeps the lead, but he's now 18 points clear. After 3 rounds, Alonso's nearly a race win clear of his nearest title rival, which is currently Mick Schumacher in the McLaren, who's 2 points ahead now of his teammate Lando Norris. So it's a McLaren 2-3 and the glorified version of last year's car. So whatever they found over the winter, whatever route of development they managed to continue down, is really working out for them in this early stage. Ourselves with our poor race drop down behind the 2 McLarens now into 4th place. But it's all still very close though at this early stage. Then you got Esteban Ocon and Max Verstappen joint on points, but on better result, Ocon's ahead. And Verstappen, I think finally for Red Bull, manages to get ahead of one of their junior team drivers, Sergio Sette Camara, who's in 7th place. And our teammate K-Mag up into 8th on 28 points, joint with Matsushita. You have Alex Albon down into P10 on 23, 5 points clear of the AlphaTauri, of Pierre Gasly, and Lewis Hamilton, despite having a mare today, stays inside the top 12, just about on 16 points. And now onto the Constructors standings, and we do have the third different leader after 3 races, and now it's Renault's turn at the top. They're on 90 points, and they're 12 points clear of McLaren, who are on 78. I mean, despite McLaren having drivers in 2nd and 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, Alonso's early lead is what's giving Renault that gap at the top. And Alfa Romeo remain in P3 on 63 points. And you have Red Bull now then up into 4th place on fitting head of AlphaTauri, so it looks like the embarrassment for Red Bull may be over now, with them finally looking to get themselves back on track at this early point of the season. You have Toyota still struggling in P6 on 41 points, so they have got a gap though. 2 Mercedes behind here on 27. And you've got Aston Martin with those 2 points, get ahead of Williams on better result, but they're both on 9 points, leaving the Scuderia at the bottom, Ferrari are last in 10th place on 7 points. The last time they finished 10th I think was in the 80s, but they can't get any lower than that, but still, it has really not been a good start to the season for the team in red. So that's been the Mexican Grand Prix. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out any future videos, be it my F1 videos, my Shadow of War, or anything else I'm putting out nowadays. Also, there's going to be a link in the description to vote for your driver of the day, so whether or not you agree with the fans' vote here of Esteban Ocon. Personally, I would have gone for Alonso myself, but there's going to be a link down there to vote for who you think should have got driver of the day. There's also a link down there as well to the Wikia, which is like fandom Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure you know, most of you know what that is by now. I mention it every race. Yeah, I added that myself the day or the day after these videos come out. And I've done that since the 2014 season, so there's about 80 pages now of every team and every driver to have been in this series since it began for me in 2014. So it's a lot of work, and it's been a lot of work over the years collectively as well. So I'd appreciate it if you go and give that a read. All the info to keep up to date on this season, things that might change, and maybe even a sneak peek of what's to come up in the future as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.